Good morning, my grade 11s here from the COVID classroom. I hope you are doing well and that you're not too bored at home. Right, before we start on a lighter note, I would like to give you your answers for forgotten people. As you see, I've put it a bit skew so that it is easier for you to read, but I will also give it through to your RCL member and then you can get it from them as well. Right, the first lesson we are starting with today is the poem Too Many Words. I would like for us to first read the poem. Okay, Too Many Words by Bernard Levinson. There are too many words. Each day I drown in words. Once I sat with a man each day for 6 months, and not a word passed between us. I've never forgotten how moved I was by what he said. What am I trying to say? Is that I have a need now and then to shake the words out of my hair, all the stale and used up words, the frantic and panic words that jump about my desk, and the heavy, meaningful words that hang like curtains in the air. The people who spin words about me, holding me tightly to them, and the people who fill every corner with urgent words, every inch of my room, closing the space through which they may fall to nothing. One word would be enough, just one word that I might hold it in my palm, weigh it and know it. Right. What is happening in the poem Too Many Words? I have given you some background on the poem. This poem is written against the backdrop of how a psychiatrist and his patients interact. They sit there, he listens to them, and then he draws conclusions from these sessions, from what they are saying and the questions he's asking. It helps him to understand each patient's particular problem and to decide on an appropriate treatment for them. In the poem, we come to know the poet as being a psychiatrist who describes his own experiences. All the words of the patients makes him feel as if he is drowning in these words every single day. There are so many words and they have so much to say, all the problems and the issues they have. All these various kinds of words confuse him and he wishes that they would only maybe just use one word to express their feelings so that he might better understand their problem and then be in a better position to help them. The speaker in the theme or the issue of the poem is of the opinion that the people use too many words unnecessarily to communicate. A bit of word economy might work here so that actually you can hear what their problem is. Right, let's have a look at the poem, Too Many Words. Okay, I am just going to lift this a bit higher so that you can see the whole poem here with the notes. Right, in this case, the type of poem is a lyric. He describes a day in his life there in that office with all the people. What is the tone of voice? The poet is exasperated, irritated and enraged. Oh, all these words. He just wished that they would use a bit less words. The setting where this whole poem plays off, we get to know, is in the psychiatrist's office. He mentions various issues. He sat with a man there. He's trying to listen what they're saying. They jump about his desk. They're filling all the space in his office, so we know that it is in his office. Right, there are too many words. That is a statement. There are too many words. That is what he's saying. It is also a metaphor where the poet is being bombarded by words. He feels that it is closing in on him, okay, drowning him, like water would drown someone, okay. Each day I drown in these words. So this whole issue with the purple line and the bracket there is the metaphor. It feels like these words are drowning him. Once I sat with a man, the I, first person, the poet, he is a psychiatrist and he interacts with his patients. He sat with this man. He's listening to those frantic words, to the heavy, meaningful words. So the I is the poet. Then we get to once I sat with this man for 6 months and not one word passed between them. But he has never forgotten how moved he was, because even though the man didn't say anything, he said a lot, because he understood his silence, what he was trying to say. We get a paradox here where one patient moved him. He said nothing, but he understood the silence. So in the silence, he said a lot, okay? He needed no words. Then, what am I trying to say is that I have a need now and then to shake the words. He wants to shake them, like you would shake a bag of chips or nuts or dried fruit or anything. Shake is a forceful movement. He wants to get rid of those words. They are bothersome. He wants to rid them from his head, shake it out of his hair. There we get that relaxing of you shaking your hair loose as if it was in a ponytail, and you let it loose and you relax. He wants to get rid of those bothersome words, those words that are just too much, okay? He says, all the stale up, used up words, those I've underlined in the green as well as in the blue. That thick blue line indicates that these are the types of words the patient used. Some of them have those cliches, you know, those unoriginal empty words, those blaming words, never accepting responsibility, those type of things, the cliches, stale and used up words. Then there's the frantic panic words, the ones that show fear and stress and anxiety. It might be work related or relationship related maybe. And then you get the heavy, meaningful words. The heavy are the difficult words to bear, the depressing, the somber words. That person does not really see an outcome. And he says they jump about my desk. Jumping here, there, means that these words are sudden and they surprise him or they shock him. Okay. Then we also get the simile here, the heavy, meaningful words that he says hang like curtains in the air. Like we get the simile. He compares the heavy, depressing words that shuts out his joy to heavy curtains that would shut out the sun. It's hanging there and he can't see past them. Okay, so there we get that idea of the heavy, meaningful words. Then we go on to the next line. The people who spin words about me, holding me tightly to them. And the people who will fill every corner with urgent words. Remember I said the dark blue line indicated the types of words. Here's the other one, the urgent words the people use. They spin the words around him. Now when you see spinning, you think of a spider spinning a web, okay, so that he can lure his victim closer. In this case, the patients seem to be trying to get a hold over him. They spin these words, pulling him into their life and into their story, trying to get a hold over him, gaining his sympathy with their emotional outpourings. and the words that they use. Some of them might even fabricate stories, but they involve him in their lives. And the main thing about a psychiatrist is never to become personally involved in people's lives. You have to keep that safe distance from them. He says they're holding me tightly to him. He cannot get away. He feels entrapped in his sympathy with them, in the words, in their life story, those urgent words that they use. And it seems to fill every corner and every inch of his room. It feels like these words are everywhere and it is suffocating him. He feels a bit claustrophobic, like I said there, as if you can't breathe. Okay. They are closing the space through which they may fall to nothing. What does that mean? These words of them are closing the space for these patients so that they may fall to nothing. It means that they are using these words, okay, to fill the void, that emptiness in their lives. That is why they are there at this psychiatrist. They have a need to voice the issues in their lives. So they are there to seek comfort and sympathy. So those words are the ones that basically fill the emptiness in them, but he feels like he just wants to get away. It's just too much. Okay. He says, wait, one word would be enough. There's the exclamation mark. Stop it. One word would be enough. Just one word. Okay. The people use too many words, he says. They can just say one word. Use a bit of word economy. Okay. That I might hold it in my palm, that he might cherish that word. Okay. Help. I feel depressed. Okay, I don't see a future. Just not give me your whole life story and much more. Okay, so that he can think about what their problem is. What are they saying? What is their need? He can weigh it and he can understand. He can understand the meaning or their problem. And he would be able to take one idea and then examine it and maybe not be distracted by a whole lot of other words which they are giving him. Because, boy, oh boy, when you are upset about something or when you want to get your point across, even at home in an argument with your parents, you sometimes say more than the occasion warrant because you want to bring your point across and people must understand it. And that is what he says. He sees so many patients every day and he listens to all these words and it just becomes too much. He says there are too many words. I wish that they will just hold or give me one word and that would be enough, so that I can understand and get a better idea of what their problem is. Right, sweeties, it's not a very difficult poem. Sometimes you also want a break. You want to say, hey, Hawkeye, just stop. Too many words, Mom. Less words, I understand. You just want to get some space and also just focus on what you want to say. Right, here are your questions, 12 questions, which I will send through to the RCL member. And I am sure by now, this is the last poem of your poems for the year. You have now completed all the poems. I will also maybe give you a copy of each of the last poems in your poetry stack or in the stack that I'm giving out for Friday that you can pick up if you would like one. And then, or you could print your own, or you can copy it in your book and then write the notes around that. Remember I said it is your book. It is your study material. The same with your language book, people. So use it. As long as it is neat and you can see what is going on there, then it is your study material. You are studying for your matric language from your language book for this year. So please make sure all the notes I have given you and am still going to give you in the lessons, that you have got it there. Right. Then I would also like to just mention that on Friday you will get a task. Please, I will hand in an answer sheet for that task as well, and you can then hand it in on the next Friday when you come and fetch your new task or assignment from the school or from your bus stop where the buses stop, or your parents can just drop it off at school on the Friday then, if you're going to get it from the RCL member, because that assignment will also be posted with the RCL member as well. And I will write there at the top, task 1 and the date. And you must please complete it and then get it to the school with your name on it so that I can mark it. And please, I need to get an idea of, do you understand the work? Where do we need to explain stuff again? This is a challenging time, people, and we are trying our best to accommodate you guys, but we need you to also come to the party and do your part. But I'm sure you're all there because you are all fabulous, and I love you all to bits. You are my greatest grade 11s, and I will never forget this COVID year with you guys. You are wonderful. Keep well and stay safe, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye-bye.